Welcome to another Door Experience. I'm your host, Tim Rist, and today we're going to be exploring American history in the wine country of Oregon. Let's go take a look. We're here at the All One Farm, a former intentional community made famous by its many appearances in Walter Isaacson's biography of Steve Jobs. I'm sitting here in the former bed of Steve Jobs, reading an excerpt from the chapter called The Dropout. Friedland had stewardship of a 220-acre apple farm about 40 miles southwest of Portland that was owned by his eccentric millionaire uncle. After Friedland became involved with Eastern spirituality, he turned it into a commune called the All One Farm. And Jobs would spend weekends there with Kottke Holmes and like-minded seekers of enlightenment. The farm had a main house, a large barn, and a garden shed where Kottke and Holmes slept. Jobs took on the task of pruning the Gravenstein apple trees. Steve ran the apple orchard, said Friedland. We were in the organic cider business. Steve's job was to lead a crew of freaks to prune the orchard and whip it back into shape. The main house is filled with exquisite woodwork, including original beams from the 1850s. The 80s would bring a 3,000 square foot add-on with high-end finishes from top to bottom. This is unbelievable craftsmanship. The story goes that the barn with the apartment below was one of multiple places that Steve Jobs lived while they were remodeling the chicken coop into a tiny home. Come here, boy. Let's go inside. Let me take you back to the 70s when community was a way of life here at the All One Farm. You can imagine Steve Jobs here on the top floor of the barn for community gatherings, meals, dance parties, and of course, meditation and yoga. I'm sitting here in the original apple orchard where Steve and his friends used to work, reading the excerpt, Apple is Born. Now that they had decided to start a business, they needed a name. Jobs had gone for another visit to the All One Farm, where he had been pruning the Gravenstein apple trees, and Wozniak picked him up at the airport. On the road down to Los Altos, they threw around options. They considered some typical tech words such as matrix and executech. Finally, Jobs proposed Apple Computer. I was on one of my many fruitarian diets, he explained, and I had just come back from the apple farm. It sounded fun, spirited, and not intimidating. Apple took the edge off the word computer. Plus, it would get us ahead of Atari in the phone book. He told Wozniak that if a better name did not hit them by the next afternoon, they would just stick with Apple, and they did. Now being offered for sale for the first time since the 70s, the total estate here consists of 367 acres, over $4 million of merchantable timber, 5 tax lots with further subdividable potential, and unbelievable panoramic views. Thank you for joining me today for a tour of this historic paradise bursting with creative potential. Again, I'm your host, Tim Rist, here to help you find your people and find your home. Thank you so much for watching our video. To tune in for more Oregon real estate news, including a monthly market report, hit subscribe and we'll keep great content coming. Thank you for liking it, sharing it, and we'll see you guys next time.